All right, welcome back to the Homestand Show. Albert Vartanian here. Now joining us on the show in studio, the one, the only, Bobby Conway, Rob Conway of Bet99. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for having me.
Yes, you're in the packed house today.
It is.
Sharman,
It is
Pooney, Vartanian. All right, Lamar Jackson, some news broke yesterday. He tweeted out that he requested to be traded on March 2nd. We talked about it a lot, but I want your opinion on it. Lamar Jackson, come opening day of the NFL season, where will he be playing?
Where is tough. I don't think it'll be in Baltimore, though.
Really?
I just think the relationship soured too much. I mean, in the end, I guess they have the first right of refusal, so if they want to, but I don't think that it's there anymore. When he went public there, like he said, Ravens flock, I'm with you, blah, 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 but this is a business decision. I just think it soured too much there. If you're the Jets, I think it's a good fit, but the problem with the Jets is they have this nice little pocket where they have all these young players. They're going to have to pay them. Mm-hmm. But if they pay Lamar Jackson, they're not going to be able to. So they have to decide, do we want to go with Aaron Rodgers for a couple of years? Then when we have to start paying the other guys, he's gone and we can try and draft a good quarterback to go with them. And I love Robert Kraft's, rumor has it that he was interested and sets up to Bill Belichick. That would be an interesting spot.
How much of that do you believe that it's completely up to Bill Belichick? I feel like Kraft has a bit of a say on what his team's going to do.
With a guy like Lamar Jackson, the money you're going to be doling out, like probably $200 million fully guaranteed, an owner has to have a say in that. That's like not just a GM coach.
But I guess maybe
deal.
Belichick's built up enough credit in the bank, let's say, to make the decisions he wants to make.
Certainly, in the sense of, like, you're right, Justin. If he went to him and said, we're going to do this, he'd have the right to say no. But I don't think Robert Kraft, what he means is, I'm not going to go tell him he has to take him, right? The $200 million is yours to decide what to do with it, type of thing. And, I think 6 Super Bowls will do that for you.
But Mick Mills approached him, right? That's true. He wants to join, so therefore Kraft has no option but to say, yeah, okay, Bill, whatever you want. I mean, this whole optically, it just shows what's wrong with professional sports, right? This whole to and from through this off season, and he says, "Oh, listen, I love Baltimore, I love the fans, I'll be back one day, but I want out right now." It's for family reasons. He's turning down $32 million this season, so I think the family is okay. To be honest with you, they'll be just fine.
Yeah. It's generational wealth regardless, but I think part of it is too it doesn't matter what job or how much money it is. Like if you're playing with someone or watching someone who's your colleague and they make more money than you, it just cheeses you off. Whether it's $40 million or $40,000.
Yeah, I think the reports are that he was offered a 3-year, $133 million guaranteed deal from the Ravens, right? Which I think would be the smart decision for Lamar Jackson. You take a shorter term deal, fully guaranteed, and then in 2 years' time, you're about to be another free agent again, and you'll get an even bigger payday,
and I think teams would rather that with his injury history.
Exactly,
Let's sign a short-term deal. Here's the money up front. It's not exactly what you wanted, but we can negotiate come the end of the contract if you're healthy.
But that's why he wants a longer one, though.
Of course, yeah. I mean, you want the job security.
It goes both ways, right?
And I think that goes with professional sports and what we do in every other job. You want some sort of job security.
I still think he looks at a guy like Deshaun Watson or Kyler Murray and
that's
goes,
the one.
I'm better than these guys. Why am I going to take less?
That's the hang-up. It's Deshaun Watson, and that's why the rest. We talked about it yesterday. That's why the rest of these teams don't want to make that deal.
Yeah.
Because then everyone else is going to want that
the
deal.
The same reason he wants it because he's better is the same reason why they don't want to do it because look what happens.
Yeah.
You have all this guaranteed money, and first of all, that's the stupidest contract I think I've ever seen in pro sports, maybe other than Bobby Bonilla's contract.
But
God! Anyway, it's just crazy to me that they did that, but that's his point of reference, and I don't blame him one bit.
No, I would point to the exact same
stack
thing.
the resumes up. Lamar Jackson's resume is better than Deshaun Watson, better than Kyler Murray, and the Browns were a desperate franchise that made a desperate decision. The Baltimore Ravens have won before Lamar Jackson. Yeah. They'll win after Lamar Jackson. They've been one of the strongest franchises in the NFL in the last 2 decades, right? And their position is, look, we'll pay you, we want to take care of you, because I still think there's that mutual wanting to be together, to want this marriage to work together. I think it just comes back to the respect factor that Lamar wants to be paid for what he's worth, and he feels that by going to this extreme, it will push the Ravens into a corner, but I don't think it really will.
I can understand why the Browns gave Watson what they gave him, because they haven't had a quarterback in I don't know how long. It's like, this guy's out there. Yeah. We got to figure this out sometime. Let's just give him the money that he wants. And that could happen with Lamar Jackson going to a team.
I'm surprised it has.
An unsuspecting team, right? Yeah. Just no one wants to pay that contract. But, okay, I'm kind of putting you on the spot here. But in terms of ranking the top quarterbacks in the NFL, where would you put Lamar Jackson in top 5, let's say? He cracks the top 5, right?
Well, I mean, you got to go for sure with Mahomes and then Allen,
Burrow.
and Burrow. then you can, Herbert, you can make some arguments. I think he's there. He's close to there, if not in there. Rodgers, if he's back to where he was. It's only 2 years ago he was MVP. He's in and around that level. He's not up in the Mahomes and Allen level. Not that when he's on the field he is, but those guys don't get hurt.
I think it's Mahomes, Burrow, the two above the rest, a class above the rest. I think Lamar's in that 5, 6, 7 range, in and around there. You can kind of interchange him with Jalen Hurts, Herbert, maybe Aaron Rodgers, Trevor Lawrence as well.
Yeah.
Made a big impact.
And that just tells you more about the depth of quarterback in the league rather than the quality of the player.
But the drop off after that is it's
no bueno.
Like, I mean, look at the San Francisco 49ers. They are going to start Brock Purdy, and they're happy about it. Now, no, listen, he had a great
he'll
7
be out for a little bit too, right?
Yeah, he's hurt. He broke his elbow or whatever. But it's such an integral position. I cannot believe there isn't one of the teams that's just like, I don't care if it's $500 million. We need to have a quarterback.
Who knows? You might have a team pop out of nowhere and be like, listen, we're going to do it. We're going to give him that Deshaun Watson contract because we're going to get a quarterback that's going to set our future.
The Ravens have won a Super Bowl with both Trent Dilfer and Joe Flacco. They don't think they need a quarterback.
And look what happened when they made Joe Flacco the most highest paid quarterback in the league after they won that Super Bowl.
Yeah.
A couple years later, they drafted Lamar Jackson. So,
not bad. Okay. To one superstar to another, Connor McDavid became the first Oilers player with 140 points since Gretzky. 8 games to go. He's got 60 goals, Bobby Conway.
Okay.
Does he hit 70?
No, that's insane.
You don't think he can pull it off?
No, I just don't think. Also, they've pretty much locked up a spot. Does he even play in every single game down the stretch? Probably does, but
I think so.
But is he fully invested? They need to make a run. The playoffs are around the corner. And plus, that's what? Oh, it's like what, goal and a half a game? That's a good clip.
I feel torn here though because I'm always very much against load management in modern sports, right? At the same time, they'd be mad not to rest him if they could rest him at this point. And personal accolades mean nothing for the Oilers. It's got to be a deep run. It's got to be a cup. 70 goals, that might come next year, the year after. It's still a pretty good season.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No one's going to say, Connor, good deep run, but you didn't hit 70, did you? Yeah. No one's going to say that.
No, he's having an incredible season. And I think load management is a luxury that you've earned. And I think,
of course.
If you're looking at a team that's the Boston Bruins, for example, they earned the fact that they can, sit some guys.
Load management is fine in Game 76. It's Game 6 that you get annoyed about.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Kawhi Leonard. I know Connor McDavid's breaking all these records and he's having a phenomenal season. I feel like it's still not talked about as much as it probably should be. 140 points at this point in the season. I mean, the last guy to do it was Lemieux and Yager back in 95-96. The last Oiler dude was Gretzky in the 80s. This doesn't happen every single year.
No. When you look at it, it's kind of like the LeBron, the Mahomes, or all these greats, the Messis, the Ronaldos. We kind of expect greatness from them, right? So when he does something like this, he's Connor McDavid. You expect him to do that, right? Like he gets kind of taken for granted. And look, he's the best player on planet Earth, and he's head and shoulders above the rest. I think if you look at sports across not just North America, but maybe even Europe as well, the gap between Connor McDavid and the next best player is the biggest between any other sports league in the world, and I think
also it's to do with, in modern sports, it's about being the greatest, the biggest. If he hit 92 goals, that's a little bit different. Of course, we're all talking, but it's a great season. It's a incredible season in the modern era of hockey, of course, but it's still not even close to Gretzky's record. So who really cares? That's so unfair, but that's a reality.
It's not just Gretzky's records. He also played for Edmonton when he did it, so he's not even able to get franchise records.
It was an all-star team, the true all-star team. I will say this, and we talked about this off air. Connor McDavid potentially hitting 70 is probably the biggest storyline in hockey right now. And right? Should be.
Yeah.
Is
outside
it?
of the league,
Should
potentially
be.
winning a first.
And the Leafs backup goaltender situation.
Yeah.
Or Samsonov
and Murray.
By the way, Samsonov. No, I'm just joking.
Who's going to be on the fourth line of the Leafs is clearly more important.
I'm going to throw you a Samsonov, Murray, or Joseph Wall. I'm not going to do it on this show. I'll bug you next time.
Quickly. Wait for that one.
Yeah.
Exciting.
Book that
We're
day
wrapping up here. Bobby Conway's best bets of the night. Let's go.
I'm going to go with the over in the St. Louis-Vancouver game. Jordan Binnington's more worried about fighting people than stopping pucks. And he gave up 7 the other. He's
a little.
So he gave up 7 to the Kings the other night. I'm going with the over. So your team, Vancouver, needs to put up a touchdown on him. Not them just alone, but that would be nice. 7-0 is fine with me. And I'm going to go Carolina over Tampa Bay. These games are huge. Carolina does not want to play New York Rangers in the first round. They much rather play the Islanders or Pittsburgh, so this game still matters to them. I think they take down Tampa Bay as a slight favorite.
Yeah, I like some dogs, and I like the Predators against the Bruins. It's
Yeah.
3-1. It's a big number, but I like it. Quickly, you like Ricky Fowler to win the Valero.
Yes, needs to win to get into Augusta, and I'd love to see him there. He is, other than Tiger getting back to his level, that's my favorite guy to get back to his
What a
level.
story
Love to
that'd
see-
be.
Oh,
If there's a
sure.
reason to watch the Valero, it's probably because of Ricky Fowler
Yes.
and Bobby Conway making the pick. Thank you so much for
No
coming
problem.
on. Bobby
My pleasure.
Conway of Bet99 coming up after the break. Me, Sharms, and Justin Pooney will be back here talking some soccer.